One of the hidden arts of what we do as content creators for our products and services online right now is stories. Personal, powerful signature stories. But the challenge is most people don't tell enough stories. I mean, I've been blessed enough to bring hundreds of people through my different programs over the last few years. And what I've learned is that most people, they teach you to put out content. They teach you, yeah, just go run the ads, or just go, do these videos and go live. And they tell you to put out all of this content. And we know video content is big, but they don't tell you specifically how to engage people. And one of the most powerful forms of engaging people is being able to tell really good stories. Really good stories. And a good story is not just about what you went through, but is how you tell the story. And most people don't know how to tell stories. They'll say, how they went through the trauma, or how they went through this thing with this person, or they went through this accident, or they struggled with their business, and they'll tell you all of the things that they went through, but that don't make it a good story, right? Just because you're telling me a story don't mean it's a good story, right? Just because you're telling me the pain and everything you went through and how you felt don't actually make it a good story. What makes it a good story is how you structure it. What makes it a good story is how you say it. What makes it a good story is how you imagine it to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something fun where I'm going to share with you what's Disney's strategy on how they tell good stories. They have a framework on best ways to tell stories, and I'm going to share with you what that is. So I'm really excited for you to be able to learn that. And by the way, we hear people, what's good? Welcome to another Recharging Your Business session. We do this live every single day around noon. And I'm excited about it because this is going to be a session that you're going to be able to take with you for the rest of your life. This is a training that you're going to be able to apply to everything. Stories is never going to go away. Stories been here at the beginning of time, and stories are going to be here for the rest of your lifetime in eternity. People are always going to be telling stories because we're always going through experiences. So stories are always going to be here, and you're always going to be telling stories. Now, if you want to be a good storyteller, and if you're in business, it's probably a good idea to be a good storyteller. So we're going to talk about what are some ways, what are some strategies, or what's a framework. Now, people got a ton of frameworks, but we're going to follow Disney's framework and how to tell good stories so you can start implementing this in your videos and especially in your ads. If you can do this great in your ads, do you understand that you will get more people to convert? You will get more people to be interested. You will get more people to click. You will get more people to pay attention to you even more, because it's like, damn, this makes a lot of sense. And if you can tell a story that engages, and it also makes sense to the principle that you're trying to convey, they're going to be more willing to take the action that you want to give. So we all love good stories. I love good stories too, but you got to be able to utilize it effectively and follow a format. Or when you tell stories, or you just telling stories. That used to be me. I used to tell stories. I didn't think I was never really that good at it before, right? And we always improving. Listen, I ain't saying I'm the best in the world, right? But I have frameworks that I follow now that allows me to tell better stories than I told 5-10 years ago. And it's understanding frameworks like this that's going to help you to take it to the next level. All right. So if you're excited, go ahead and put excited below. Let me know that you're here. Let me be able to show you some love. And what we're going to do in this training today is I'm going to give you a framework that you can use to start telling stories. It's going to be great for everything you do, especially your ads, to get more conversions. And then I'm going to give you a resource. And then if you have any questions at the end, we're going to take some questions. All right. So welcome to Recharging Business session. So that's the reason why that this is important. I used to have a challenge, and you might be like me, where you like to run your mouth, right? Like I like to talk. Right. And especially if it's something that I know about and I can help and give game and give guidance to other people, like I can talk all day. And there's a lot of folks that you might be one of those people that, you're a conversationalist, you know how to hold the conversation, you know how to, tell experiences that you went through. But a lot of times it's a gift and a curse, right? Anybody ever told you got the gift of gab, or I love talking to you, or you just kind of see people gravitating towards you? Well, that could be a gift and a curse for us. Why? Because it's a gift or a talent, we tend to just do it naturally without any thought or any intention behind it. But if you start putting more thought and intention behind your talent, there's no different than LeBron James or Kobe or Jordan who have talent, or Serena Williams who have talent, but they don't just rely on their talent to get the job done. They hone their talent. They get better at their talent. They figure out the details and they learn the nuances and how to use their talent. Their talent is just the foundation, but they need to enhance the talent. The talent will only get you to a certain level. On top of that, you got to really be focused on growth and development in your areas to be great. And that's why, although Kobe was talented at basketball, that's why he was one of the hardest working, if not the hardest working basketball player to ever face the earth. Right? I mean, there's been stories of LeBron, Chris Paul, or, there's stories where all of these guys went out to the Olympics and they would, and on mornings where they didn't have a game or practices, all of these guys would be going out to bars, the party, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, right? But they will be going out just to have a good time, like, oh shit, we ain't got no practice this morning, oh, right? And they out and they clubbing and they partying. What Kobe's doing? Kobe is asleep. What Kobe doing? They coming in at 5 in the morning. What Kobe doing? Kobe's going down to the gym at 5 in the morning to start practicing, right? Now, what I'm saying is you got somebody who, and when they come together for the Olympics, I'm sure, because everybody's on different teams, I'm sure they don't get a chance to do that every weekend, right? So it's like when you get a chance to just hang around your people and just chill, because this is a very rare occasion, and you don't even do that because your level of vision, your level of hunger is so obsessive that every single day you practicing and you getting better, that that shows you a level of commitment that Kobe had. But I mentioned all that to say he didn't just rely on his talent to be great. He could have still made it into the Hall of Fame, I'm sure, just relying on talent, but he got better at this. So that's what I'm saying, is that even if you've been telling stories, which we all have, and even if you got the gift of gab, you got to get better at this skill. All right, that makes sense? All right, so let's look at the framework. So I'm gonna walk you through what the framework is first, and then once you get that framework, I'm going to tell a story and I'm gonna share with you how to make it all come together. Okay. All right. So the first thing, right, and this is part of the Disney's framework. They start with once upon a time. It's number one. Once upon a time. Usually that sets the scene. Usually that sets the mood. Usually that sets the location. Usually that just puts you in the scene. So you basically got to paint the picture of what happens. Now, when you tell a story, you don't necessarily have to start with once upon a time. It's not always going to be relevant, but I want you to think about the once upon a time as, okay, what is this time? What is this setting? What is this location? Where are we at? You got to set the scene. What is the scene? That's how I think about it. Like, what is the scene that I'm painting for people right now? And like I said, we're going to put this all together. So you want to be able to paint that. It might be, when I first started my business, it might be, I remember waking up in a hospital. It could be, I'm in the basement of my parents' house trying to figure out how to put together this computer. It could be, I'm in, so me and my spouse were having a heated argument about, you feel like you got to put people in the scene. What's the scene? Where does the scene start? So that's number one. Number two is every day. So every day, this is before we even get to, like the turning point, right? So before you even get to the turning point, like this is like building up to that. So I would say something like, every day, and this is where you really talk about the problems and the challenges, right? What makes a good story is that there's some type of challenge or struggle or problem you're going through. And you might say, if it's trauma, every day I would get into fights, with my significant other. You would say, every day I was putting out content online and nobody wasn't clicking. Every day I was trying to attract people and help, but I wasn't getting any leads. Every day, I would try to, I would go to the gym and I'm going for months and months and months and I'm still not seeing any results. You feel what I'm saying? Every day I would try to just make it another hour because I kept having to deal with this trauma or this stress. Or every day I would just get triggered by something because of my past, right? It's like, what's the challenge? When you throw the everyday in front of it, what's going to happen is it gives it more impact, right? So you want to be able to use that and say every day, and then tell people what's the challenge, what's the struggle. Okay. All right. Now this is the turning point. That's the second thing. Number 3, this is the turning point. Now we're going to say one day. One day. This is this Disney story framework. Shout out to Disney. One day. Now, you've been going through all of these challenges and problems. Now let's focus on, okay, well, what's the turning point? When did things change? When did things change for you, right? If you're blessed enough to be telling a story, and the purpose of you telling a story is that something changed for you, you got a better result, right? Like I have a lot of people that come to me who have experience, expertise, or education in a certain area. And part of what inspires people is this story of transformation. Well, in order for something to be transformed, you have to be in one state or one situation. Something happened, and now you're in a better situation. All right. So I want to know what happened. Like how did that change? So it can be one day he put his hands on me and enough was enough, and I left. One day, I ran into this coach and they gave me a different perspective, and I always thought that, but they changed my mind on that, and that started me on a path to that. One day I just got, just so tired that, of lacking consistency with going into the gym. I said, the hell with it. I'm just going to start working out of my house. One day I was, I got so tired of, beating myself up, and this happened. You feel what I'm saying? It's like a moment. It's basically like a moment of clarity. It's like what's the turning point? This is the point where it's the climax, right? This is the point where now something shifts and something different happens. Okay. So, so you want to add the one day to it. That's the turning point. Then we have number 4. Number 4 is because of that. Meaning, so since that turning point happened, now what's the result? Just because you met a coach doesn't mean you got any different results, right? So now let's talk about, okay, what happened because of that? So we talking business. Oh, because of that, I met this business coach. And they started working with me, and they was showing me specifically how to put out social media content. So, and you don't even have to say because of that, but you realize that that's the reason, right? And you can't say because of that in this case. So you can say, well, because I was working with them, they actually started showing me how to actually create engaging posts more consistently. So I started getting more people who are interested, more people who are clicking on my, let's say, my YouTube videos. And because that started working, and this is the second one after that. Then you say because of that. So you got to first because of that, and then you have another because of that. And then you'll say, well, because of that, I started getting more views, but because of that, I actually started getting more people who are clicking on the link in my description, and I started getting leads. Feel what I'm saying? So there's 2 because of that's there, right? So it's like, it's basically like, okay, well, what happened? And then what happened because that happened? And that's very powerful because people always want to know, okay, they want to always see what the next steps are, what's going to happen. Well, once you do that, then what? Then once you do that, then what? So people always want to be able to anticipate what's coming. So why don't you just say what happened? And I'm going to tell you what people are doing psychologically as you're going through this, right? So psychologically, number 1, what's happening is people they're focused on your story. When they're focused on the story, they're not focused on their problems, their challenges. They're focused on solutions. They're focused on what can I take away from this story? When you tell them that what you've been struggling with every day, you're really walking them through, oh, wow, yo, this is what I'm going through. This is why it's important to understand who your target audience is, who your niche is, what your avatar is. That's why this is important, because you want the problems and the challenges that you're talking about to resonate with this audience. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you don't want general. You don't want to be a generalist when it comes to this. You want to have an audience. If I'm talking, and I used to go through this, I used to talk to all types of business owners about every problem under the sun because I read a bunch of books about it, helped a couple of people, and I'm like, I'm gonna help everybody with everything. And I found it very hard to grow and build and to get results. But once I landed, I said, yo, I want to work with thought leaders. I want to work with experts. I want to work with coaches. I want to work with speakers. I want to work with people who have online businesses, because I was working with brick and mortars. I was working with all types of people, and I was all over the place, and I was giving them little results, and they was getting a couple things here and there, but I didn't really start getting people who was making $10,000 a month, $2,500 their first week working with me. We had Tina. She's working with me for 10 months. She had damn near $30,000 a month. People who were getting 1,000% ROI with us, their first week. We had Akil who made 10 grand with us the second month he started working with us. I got a text earlier this year from one of our clients who, after working together for less than in a 3-month time span, he made 20 grand. You feel what I'm saying? I was never getting results like that. That's because I was helping everybody with everything. So let's bring it all back. So when you start talking about this story and you say every day what you struggled with, you want to make sure that your struggle or the problem or challenge that you're going through aligns with the challenges and the problems that your ideal client is going through right now. That's what you want to do. So when we start running your ads, or if you run your own ads, you realize that we're running these ads to a specific target audience. So if you have this video and you're telling this story about problems that your avatar is going through right now, they're going to love that video, and they're going to want to read the rest of the ad, and they're going to want to click through to it. So that's the psychology of what's happening, right? And then the result is going to tell them, like, okay, if I take a similar action, I'm going to get this result. And then because of that, I'm also going to get this result. Does that make sense? I'm going to tie this all together in a story after this, right? And then last but not least is as a result. That's the last one. As a result. As a result. So if we go back to the example of the ads, then you'll say, okay, as a result, I got more leads because people were clicking the link in my video description of my YouTube videos. And as a result, I started booking these appointments and getting clients. Never was getting clients consistently before, but now I started getting clients. So you tell a story like that, people gonna be like, oh my God, I need to take this action, because they heard the story and the story makes sense. And it's a problem that they're struggling with. So they're like, okay, if I just follow the same blueprint that he told me in the story, I should get similar results. And that's the power of telling good stories. Does that make sense? This is one of the skills. Storytelling is a skill. So it's not something you're going to master tomorrow. It is a skill. However, it's a skill that's going to be relevant to you for the rest of your life, in business and in life. So you might as well get good at storytelling. You might as well start now. How do you start? I just got off a training with one of the guys a guy I'm mentoring, and I was talking about this concept, and he was like, yo, I love some of this stuff you're telling me. He's like, yo, how do I implement this? And I said, well, put out content. That's the best way. If you want to get better at storytelling, put out content and tell stories following this framework. And then tag me in it, or shoot me a message and let me know how it worked for you. I love to hear feedback. So let me know the feedback on once you start implementing this. All right. So let me share with you how we're going to do this. Right. So I'm going to give you a real story. So this is, all right. So I'm just going to tell a story. All right. So remember the framework. All right. So I remember, AKA once upon a time. So I remember a time around when I really first started getting into this online space. Right. And, and I'm excited to coach and train, teach people what I know. And, I'm new at this point. Right. But I'm like, okay, I just know that I want to give value. So at the time I was using free conference call. This was before Zoom. So I'm like, okay, I got these Beyonce on the Run tour tickets, which actually it was just one ticket. Like I wasn't even intelligent enough at the time to say, let me get 2 tickets, because I was using this Beyonce ticket to promote for this training that I'm doing, right? For this phone conference call, right? So I'm telling people about it. Like, if you want to win this ticket, join. If you want to win this ticket, right? So I'm telling people about it, right? And then the day comes, right? The day comes. And when this day gets here, I'm excited. Because up until this point, every day I've been struggling to get leads. I was struggling to get clients. I was just really trying to figure this whole thing out. And when I tried to do this before, like everything that I've been doing is kind of been flopping and nobody's been interested. So that's been a challenge. So the day comes when I do this webinar, right? And I do this training. It wasn't the first time I've done the training, but I did the webinar this day, right? And now, one day, right? So this day that I did the webinar, 5 minutes passed, nobody joins. 10 minutes passed, nobody joined. 15 minutes, I'm like, damn, and I'm getting ready to hang up. And this one lady rolls in and I'm like, damn, well, I guess I got to train now. Like she showed up. So I guess I got to train. So I go in and I start training, right? And I'm giving everything, that I know, just basically teaching. And we get to the end and now I got to give away this Beyonce ticket. The problem is she's the only person that's on the call, right? So there's nobody I can really else give it to, right? So, my girlfriend at the time, I say, can you join, please? So she joins, and but you can't see anybody, right? Just so, the lady that's on can hear another voice. So then I give away the ticket and I say her name, and you won. Oh my God. And she goes crazy, right? And so she goes crazy. And I remember in that moment, I felt two things. I felt happy for her that, wow, like she won the ticket. And I'm happy that she get a chance to go to this Beyonce tour. But the second feeling I had, that I was pissed off and I was frustrated because I'm like, I have all of this value. Apparently this lady loves what I have and I have all of this value, but because I don't know how to market and advertise, nobody is getting the benefit of it. So because of that, right? That's the next framework. So because of that, I went on a mission and I got serious. Before I wasn't really serious, but I got serious now. And I'm like, yo, let me really figure out this marketing and advertising, because if it was more people on this training or call, I'll be able to help more people build my audience, right? So because of that, I went on a rampage. I started going, coaching. That was around the time like I really started like getting introduced into ET and then paying to go to his stuff and checking out his stuff. And that's really when I got into this online space serious. So that happened. Now, because of that, my marketing efforts started to level up. This is the second, the second because of that. So because of that, my marketing started getting better. And because my marketing started getting better, more people started to understand and then see the value that I've gotten. So then I just kept it up. And then over the years, I just started getting better at advertising. And then I started spending money on paid ads. And, and then as a result, I was able to go full time in my business and make multiple six figures per year. Boom, right? So what did I just do? I just walked you through the timeline of my progression, right? Of how I leveraged advertising and marketing and what was my transition from just getting started to being able to generate revenue, get clients, and go full time in my business. You follow what I'm saying? That's the importance of telling a good story. So when you tell stories, you want to make it relevant, because if I'm talking to somebody who's struggling with marketing right now, they're going to be like, oh, damn, I need to get some help, right? Oh, damn, I need somebody, I need to, rock with one of these agencies, or I need to get some coaching on this stuff right now. That's what's going to encourage people, because in my story, I mentioned how I struggled beforehand, but I did this action and I got this result, which led me to this result, which ultimately led me to this result. Make sense? So that is the power. That is the Disney framework. And hopefully that this is helpful to you. So this is my challenge. My challenge to you is I want you to go out and I want you to start applying this. And it's as simple. You can apply this in any way you want. You can apply it in emails. You can apply it in like posts. Like I like to do long form posts every morning. You can apply it in your blogs. Definitely apply it when you're telling videos and when you're going live, right? Because especially if you do this framework and we end up working together for for our marketing agency, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, yo, like send me that clip. Like I saw this when you was telling this story. That story is powerful. I need you to send me that clip, please, because that's a clip that I know is going to resonate with your audience as long as you follow this framework, talking about relevant challenges that your audience is going through. I know that they're going to be interested in that. So why not run it? Let's run it and let's look at the results. Let's look at the test, right? And let's allow that to let you get leads. All right, make sense? All right, so hopefully that this framework works for you. It is once upon a time, every day, one day, because of that, as a result. All right, so hopefully this has been super, super helpful to you. And if you know anybody who like they need to learn this stuff, share this with them. All right, make sure that you share this with them. All right, cool. Y'all excited about this stuff? I hope y'all are. I hope y'all are excited about this. Like these are things that allow me to go to the next level. All right, and I see a coach. I see a question, AP. So I'm gonna get to that in a second. All right. So a couple quick things. So 2 quick things. Number 1, if you want, we're getting ready at the time you watching this training. It might already be released depending on when you watch this training. But if you want to learn how to run your own paid advertisements, where I show you concepts like this, I show you specifically strategies on how to run paid advertising and how to create the content and the verbiage and the copy and what to do in your videos and your content to make it high converting so you can generate leads for your services. If you're interested in that, then I want you to go ahead and put ads course below, or shoot me a DM that says ads course. You can do that because right at the time we're doing it right now, we're giving it to you gratis. But depending on when you're watching this, I can't promise that it's going to be gratis. All right. So that's number 1. And then second thing is, if you want to talk to us about potentially running your ads, and there's no guarantee because we have a certain criteria, but if you want to have that conversation with us, just go ahead and put Facebook ads below, or shoot us a DM, or shoot me a DM that says Facebook ads. I'll get you on my calendar, and then I'll really get a chance to understand what you're going through, what you're trying to market for, advertise for, what's your product, your service. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions to really kind of understand it, and then we'll see what it looks like potentially working together. All right, but you got to qualify first. And we use that call as qualification to see if we can help you or not, right? Or if we're a good fit together, all right? So if you want that, just put Facebook ads below, or shoot me a DM that says Facebook ads, all right? Let's do it. Any questions? If you have any questions, go ahead and drop your questions below. AP is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. We got AP Davis. AP says, do you offer services to grow my audience and gain clients? Yeah, that's what our agency. So we have an agency that's called Mass Attention Marketing. That's our advertising agency, and that's literally what we do. We specialize in lead generation, right? You can run ads for damn near anything, but we specialize in lead generation. So we mostly focus on businesses or entrepreneurs that have service-based products and services. That's where our core. That's the core thing that we do. So we focus on lead generation, and we want you to have a service. Lead generation, and the reason it's a service is because you charge. We don't want to be selling like, $5-10 knickknacks and products and services. And some people can do that. Some people are great at that. Shout out to all the people who are doing like, like Amazon, is it Amazon FBA? Shout out to everybody doing like drop shipping and things like that, right? Which is cool, but I know my lane. That's not my lane. My lane is, or our lane for the agency is lead generation to a service. Particularly, it's better if you have a high ticket service. Anything that you wanna be able to offer people that's high ticket usually starts at like $2,000, but if you have anything and you're willing to at least charge like $1,000 for it, or $1,200 and above, if you at least that, I could work with you. So mid ticket to high ticket, I could work with you. But if it's lower ticket, then you got to realize that I want you to get an ROI. Like, we're not one of the agencies that we just press buttons just to do it for you and say that we ran your ads. I was just talking to I just had a conversation with somebody earlier today. We're not that type of agency to just do that. Like, we focus on a strategy, and we want you to be able to get the leads, but also monetize it as well. But we want to make sure that you have an offer that makes it worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, if you want to have more conversation about that, just let me know. Just shoot me a DM, or if you just go ahead and put Facebook ads below, we could definitely have that conversation. All right. But ultimately, you want to be able to, you got to get this attention. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of times we already put a lot of time, energy, and effort in learning and hours into figuring this stuff out. But it's time to get a return. I'm the biggest guy to learn, and I'll join all the trainings. I join all the webinars. Like, you think of any top guru in our space, I probably either bought something that they got, or I've been through their training. So I know what's working out there and what's not. And one of the things that everybody does unanimously is they're getting attention some type of way, and most of them are paying for it. It may not necessarily be through Facebook, but they're paying to get on certain platforms and to get attention. I just did a training earlier today. Not training, I did a post earlier today talking about like Nicki Minaj, right? How she came up, and a lot of how she came up was through collaborations. It's two ways how she came up. She got known and popular, Nicki Minaj, through collaborations, right? Think about features and collabs with Drake, Lil Wayne, Kanye West, right? Like she had collabs and features. Guess what? They all got millions of followers and fans who didn't even know she existed at the time. That's one. And then also just the authority of her being on a feature or being on a song with them already gave her extra, clout and energy around her persona, around her brand, right? And then she also, in addition to that, she also leveraged the power of social media. She leveraged it. She connected with her fans. She put out content. She was visible. Collaborations and all that. I'm sure she probably did paid advertising at some point. But she leveraged these platforms to get attention, and she leveraged people who have attention, and she put both of those together and literally blew up. So this whole game is around attention and building a business, right? Because you don't just want to help two people, right? So it's around attention, it's around exposure. Write these three things down. These are the three things that you want. And then if you have any other questions, we'll answer it or we'll wrap up. You want exposure, visibility, and attention. Exposure, visibility, and attention. Exposure is somebody who never knew you existed. They now know you exist. Visibility is somebody, they know you exist, but you're not familiar. You ever saw something like, damn, I think I saw them before. I think I saw that before. And you can't really recall it. Well, visibility is they not only do they recognize you, but they're interested. So you really want visibility. That's what you want. And then attention is the ability to capture somebody's attention, right? The ability to get somebody to pay attention to you. So exposure is more like volume. Attention is more like getting somebody to observe you or get somebody to know you even exist, right? Just like capturing attention, like you capture attention in 3 seconds. And then visibility gives you the ability to not just capture attention to a large volume of people, but it also makes you familiar like a brand. And then it also allows you to generate that interest. All right. So that's what you want. Helpful? All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. If this is helpful to you, just do me a favor. Please go ahead and share this out. We've been streaming on all major platforms. So go ahead and share this out or tag anybody that you know could use this. And they got to get their story game up. They got to get their video game up. Maybe they're apprehensive about stories or videos. Go ahead and share this out. Other than that, continue to be great. And remember, slow motion is better than no motion. So just go ahead and get this done because done is better than perfect. Let's work.